Una Bukidnon. Oh, that's from my neck of the woods, led by Barangay Captain Lini Cabardo. Also, guest of Senator Kiko Pangilinan, Malik Diof, and Coach Ryan Gregorio is here. We're approving on third reading bill granting Malik Diof citizenship today. Is she here? I'm sure Senator Estrada will no longer ask her if she has a boyfriend or not.
All right.
Mr. President, we also have my guests from, Cor Jesu College, headed by Mayor June Ray de Quina. We also have with us, that's it, Mr. President. Thank you. So we recognize them all, Mr. President, for all the guests that are here. Thank you. Oh, yes. May we recognize Senator Lauren Legarda, Mr. President.
Before that, we recognize the DBM Secretary. Is it?
Yes, my apologies.
Yes,
I think our staff in front
Secretary
do not
Toledo.
recognize this gentleman with pleasing personality, Mr. President, and striking features. Our Secretary of the DBM, Secretary Toledo. Sir, thank you for coming.
All right, thank you.
Secretary.
I saw him from afar because I need something from him. Just joke.
Thank you, Mr.
Senator
President.
Lauren Legarda is recognized.
Yes, Mr. President. Before anything else, I wanted to extend, and I'm sure our colleagues would want to share this with me, our warmest congratulations to our majority leader. Maybe not everyone knows that Senator Mig Subiri, he received the National Book Award in the profession category during the 43rd National Book Awards held the other day, March 14, at the Mega Trade Hall. The award, conferred by the National Book Development Board and the Filipino Critics Circle, recognizes our majority leader's work, the book Road to Peace, Crafting the Bangsamoro Organic Law. This work captures an important chapter in our nation's history and offers valuable insights into the legislative and political process that helped bring lasting peace and governance to the Bangsamoro. Beyond being a distinguished legislator, Senator Subiri has demonstrated through this work a deep commitment to documenting the difficult yet meaningful journey towards peace in Mindanao. The book stands as testament to the power of dialogue, perseverance, and principled leadership in advancing national unity and reconciliation. And I believe that this recognition not only honors his contribution to literature and to public service, but reminds us of the importance of preserving the stories behind the laws that shape our country. This is an interesting work that could probably inspire all of us to write the anecdotes, the backstories, the inside stories of the work behind every bill and legislation. So once again, we're proud of you, our dear brother, our majority leader, former Senate President, a esteemed gentleman from Mindanao, Senator Mig Subiri, on this well-deserved recognition. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President. Thank you very much, my dear colleagues. Mr. President, I just want to put on record that the award I got this weekend, I share it with all of you.
Thank you.
Because you were the Senate President, Mr. President, when we passed the Bangsamoro Organic Law.
Yeah.
All of the members here that were in the that was in the 17th Congress, I believe.
18th.
18th Congress were instrumental. For example, our Senate President pro tempore, Senator Ping Lacson, helped me a lot in crafting the provisions on the peace and order, yung public order and security portion of the BOL, especially yung pagbibigay, kasi gusto po nila ng independent police force, hindi po tayo pumayag. Being the former chief PNP, I knew he stood his ground and said the police should be always centralized from the top. And we accepted all these amendments to that. Senator Frank Vilon, Senator Coco Pimentel helped me in crafting the provisions on particularly the constitutionality, the legal provisions. Senator Risa Ontiveros, Senator, even Senator Chis Escudero helps with the legal language. Senator Risa, Senator Lauren, Senator JV, Senator Bam, marami, halos lahat,
And if
Mr.
you
President.
and if you recall, I
Halos
have
lahat
the biggest contribution because I changed the name.
That's correct, Mr. President. That is correct. Of the
Changed
title.
the title.
That's correct, Mr. President. And at the time, itim pa yung mga book natin noon.
Oh yeah.
Nung pinasok pa natin yan.
We
Wala pa yung
almost passed a law that was unconstitutional if we did not include autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao
Yes,
in the
and
Bangsamoro.
we thank also for
Yeah.
we also thank the Supreme Court for declaring it constitutional, Mr.
Yes.
President. That's the most
So
important.
congratulations on your award.
Thank you,
You
sir.
are a true red-blooded ninja.
Salamat po, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Mr. President, I move that we approve on third reading several measures before we take up other matters. Mr. President, I move that we approve Senate Bill number 1719, and ask the Secretary to read the title of the measure.
Yes, any objection? Hearing none, the Secretary will read the title of the measure and conduct a roll call vote for third reading on Senate Bill 1719. Please proceed.
An act declaring the month of April every year as the Philippine Veterans Month. Roll call of members. Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, Senate Bill 1719 is approved on third reading.
Congratulations are in order to the
Sure,
sponsors
Leader.
and the authors. Mr. President, I move that we approve on third reading Senate Bill number 1908. I so move.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of Senate Bill 1908 is in order. The Secretary will read the title of the measure and conduct a roll call vote.
An act mandating law enforcement officers to use a body-worn camera during law enforcement operations, providing penalties for violations and appropriating funds for the poor. Roll call of members. Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri,
Yes.
Senate President Soto III.
Yes. With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, Senate Bill 1908 is approved on third reading.
Mr. President, I also want to put on record that all the bills that we're passing on third reading have been electronically distributed to the senators on March 13 in compliance with the three-day rule of the Constitution.
Noted.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
President. We move to approve also, Mr. President, Senate Bill number 1910. I so move.
Any objection? Hearing none, the Secretary will read the title of the measure and conduct a roll call vote for 1910.
An act providing for a free financial literacy education for overseas Filipino workers and their families. Roll call of members. Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri,
Yes.
Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, Senate Bill 1910 is approved on third reading. Majority
President,
Leader.
I move to approve on third reading Senate Bill number 1917, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. Senate Bill 1917, the Secretary will read the title of the measure and conduct a roll call vote.
An act providing for protection of remittances of overseas Filipino workers. Roll call of members: Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 21 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, Senate Bill 1917 is approved on third reading. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we approve on third reading Senate Bill number 1937. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The Senate Bill 1937 is in order for third reading. The Secretary will read the title of the measure and conduct a roll call vote.
An act utilizing support for public basic education schools in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas and appropriating funds therefore. Roll call of members: Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 20 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, Senate Bill 1937 is approved on third reading.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, before I call for the third reading of this House Bill number, may we just ask if Mr. Maudo Diouf is here on the gallery, and maybe we can ask him to stand?
Yes, he's here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President. We just wanted to make sure. Mr. President, I move that we approve on third reading House Bill number 6640. I so move.
Any objection? Chair hears none. House Bill 6640 is up for third reading. The Secretary will read the title of the measure. Conduct a roll call vote.
An act granting Philippine citizenship to Maudo Diouf, Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Ligarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camil, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri, Senate President Soto III.
With 20 affirmative votes, no negative votes, no abstention, House Bill 6640 is approved on third reading.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I ask for just a minute suspension to confer something with you, Mr. President?
Session suspended. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, usually by tradition, all those that we approve on citizenships are here for third reading approval. However, I believe this other personality had an emergency and had to leave at this particular time due to an emergency, Mr. President. So if the body will allow it, we can approve it on third reading because I believe there will be a very big championship coming up very soon, and she's very willing already to play for flag and country. We will just request her to come, Mr. President, on the first day of session on May 3. She has to be here at least to present herself to the members of the Senate who were not able to attend the committee hearing.
So
Just to see that
presently she is abroad.
Yes, Mr. President.
All right.
Due
And,
to an emergency.
During the Commission on Appointments confirmation, we do allow that if the body allows it. So
Yes.
you may proceed.
It's just that we don't want to make it a precedent because we
It
don't
is-
want to approve
it
a
is
third
not a
reading.
precedent.
Yes. This case, it's an emergency, Mr. President.
Yes.
And she had asked permission. So with that, I move to approve on third reading House Bill number 6641, Mr. President. So moved.
Any objection? Hearing none, House Bill 6641 is up for third reading. The Secretary will read the title of the measure. Conduct a roll call vote.
An act granting Philippine citizenship to Elizabeth Janet Means. Roll call of members. Senator Aquino, Senator Cayetano Alan, Senator Cayetano Pia, Senator De La Rosa, Senator Ejercito, Senator Escudero, Senator Estrada, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Go, Senator Hontiveros, Senator Lacson, Senator Lapid, Senator Legarda, Senator Marcoleta, Senator Marcos, Senator Padilla, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Tulfo Erwin, Senator Tulfo Rafi, Senator Villanueva, Senator Villar Camille, Senator Villar Mark, Senator Subiri,
Dalawa, di ba?
Senate President Soto III.
With 18 affirmative votes, 2 negative votes, and no abstention.
Sir, there's an abstention and there's a no vote.
One abstention. 16
And one no vote.
16 affirmative votes, 2 negative votes, and 1 abstention. House Bill 6641 is approved on third reading.
May we recognize Senator Jingo Estrada, Mr.
Senator Jingo Estrada is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to explain my vote, Mr. President, the reason why I abstained from voting is that we should require the presence of the applicant here in the Senate. If she is really interested in acquiring Philippine citizenship, she should be present here at the gallery right now. Like the presence of Mr. Malik, I think he's very interested in acquiring Filipino citizenship. But the applicant that we are discussing, that we are deliberating right now, is absent. So that is the reason for the vote of abstention, Mr. President.
May we know the vote of Senator Villanueva?
I think he went inside, Mr. President. I think he was a negative vote, Mr.
Huh?
President.
So there are two. Let me correct the voting. Yeah, abstain. All
So
right.
abstain siya.
So there are.
Mr. President, may I, Mr. President?
Yes, go ahead, Senator.
Mr. President, just like some of our colleagues here, I feel, Mr. President, that the applicant for Filipino citizenship should be here. And considering that she's not around, Mr. President, I was opting for myself not to participate in the voting, Mr. President. But considering that I'm here now on the floor, I would register my no vote, Mr. President.
No, so it's
Yes,
the
Mr.
tamang
President.
bilang ko.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. President.
He did not abstain. It's a negative vote. Padilla, Villanueva, negative.
Yes, Mr. President. And Mr.
Yeah.
President,
We cleared the records. 17 affirmative votes,
and Mr.
2
President,
negative votes, and 1 abstention. Yeah, correct.
and if I
What
may
I
be
said
allowed
was
to
correct.
explain as well, I vote yes with a heavy heart because I really, as you are and I am, we are both stickler for the rules and traditions of the Senate.
Yes.
I only note that there's going to be a championship coming up very, very soon, and the good sponsor, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, had appealed to me if we can actually dispense with that
Yes.
particular tradition. But I do it with a heavy heart, Mr. President. Kasi takot nga tayo sa mga fake na pagbibigay ng fake citizenships. So we want to make sure na they're sincere with their plan to accept Filipino citizenship. So
Yes, yeah, indeed, we understand
Yes.
the resolution or the manifestation of the gentleman. But again, because of the necessity of the hour, that is the reason that we took on the tradition also in the Commission on Appointments, where we approve, even if they're not present, if there is a valid reason. And the valid reason is she's in California because of a family
emergency.
emergency. So
Mr.
that's the
President,
reason that we took it up and took it on the floor. All right?
May we just get the commitment of the sponsor, Justice Committee Chair, as well as the coach. I believe the coach is here, that she comes to the Senate on May 3 when we start session. May 4 when we start session, Mr. President.
All right. Senator Francis Pangilinan is recognized.
Yes, Mr. President, on the condition that she appears on the first day of our session, Mr. President, we will relay. And that, for the record, Mr. President, this should not be a precedent for future citizenship applications as well as approvals on third reading, Mr. President.
All right.
Thank you.
Senator Jingo Estrada.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one question addressed to the good gentleman from Pampangan, Quezon City.
Willingly, Mr. President.
Wasn't she informed about the votation today?
Yes, she was informed, and that there was a family emergency, if I'm not mistaken, which required her to leave. The other concern, Mr. President, is that the SBP has said that she needs to have her passport processed by April so that she can participate in the competitions. And therefore, if we are to resume sessions in May, then her passport will not be processed in time, Mr. President.
And a little leniency because it's the first time that we are approving the citizenship of a female athlete.
That is correct, Mr. President.
So it's the first time. Why not? Ba't di pagbigyan? Di ba? And
Thank
that's
you.
what we did. That is what we did.
Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
President.
It coincides with Women's Month, and we just had a program for the women senators, the book launching of the women senators of the Philippines, all 24 of them, from Geronima Pecson all the way to Aimee Marcos, Risa Ontiveros, Pia Cayetano, Loren Legarda, Camille Villar.
That is correct, Mr. President. And the principal author of this measure is Senator Pia Cayetano.
Yes, yes. All right. Thank you, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. As long as we have an understanding that it won't happen again,
Yes.
so that we have to make sure that all those who were seeking for citizenship must be here at least on third reading. And if they're not here, then we will defer. On the next batch, we will make sure that we will defer their approval. Thank you, Mr. President. We have several senators who wish to give their explanation of votes, starting with Senator Raffy Tulfo, our birthday boy, Mr. President. May we recognize Senator Tulfo.
Senator Raffy Tulfo is recognized.
Mr. President, and my dear colleagues, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude for your overwhelming support of Senate Bill number 1910 under Committee Report number 37. This bill, which provides free financial literacy education for overseas Filipino workers and their families, mark another significant step forward in safeguarding the well-being of our migrant workers. The approval of this bill on third reading demonstrates our unwavering commitment to supporting OFWs, not only concerning their physical health and safety, but also in protecting their hard-earned money. We all recognize that these earnings are the result of their hard work and determination abroad. Although this legislative measure may appear simple and brief, it represents a substantial advancement toward helping OFWs secure their futures. By promoting financial literacy, we enable our migrant workers to make wise monetary decisions, avoid predatory financial scams, invest wisely, and build financial security for themselves and their families. And with the passage of Senator Joel's OFW Remittance Protection Act, makakasiguro ang ating mga kababayang OFWs na mas lalo pang mapangalagaan ang kanilang pera na bunga ng kanilang di mapantayang dugo, pawis at sakripisyo. Mr. President, dear colleagues, again, thank you so very much for supporting this bill. May we continue to reciprocate the sacrifices made by our OFWs. Good afternoon. Thank you again, Mr. President.
The Majority Leader, I understand you wanted to call a caucus.
Yes,
after,
Mr. President, we just have a couple of other members who wish
All
to
right.
explain their vote. But may I just remind our dear colleagues, after this, we'll have an all-member caucus. We can suspend for a few minutes to discuss very important priority measures, Mr. President.
as requested by Senator Pia Cayetano.
That's correct, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we recognize Senator Joel Villanueva for his explanation.
Senator Joel Villanueva is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to our dear Majority Leader. Mr. President, may I just insert into the records some of the bills that I wanted to explain my vote. But for the meantime, Mr. President, may I just manifest my vote on SBN 1917. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the measure we have just approved on third and final reading is rooted in a simple but profound objective to do what is good for our fellow Filipinos, particularly for the millions of overseas Filipino workers whose sacrifices sustain countless families and contribute significantly to the progress of our nation. With the passage of Senate Bill number 1917, or the Overseas Filipino Workers Remittance Protection Act, this chamber has taken a meaningful step towards safeguarding and hard-earned remittances of our migrant workers and ensuring that the fruits of their labor reach their loved ones fairly and transparently. Ginoong Pangulo, sa gitna po ng patuloy na tensyon at sigalot sa gitnang silangan, kung saan marami sa ating mga OFW ang nagtatrabaho, napapanahon na po ang pagpasa ng panukalang ito sapagkat pinapatibay nito ang ating pangako at tungkuling pangalagaan ang bunga ng kanilang sakripisyo at tiyakin na makarating ng buo sa kanilang mga pamilya ang kanilang pinaghirapang kita. This bill introduces important safeguards. It ensures reasonable oversight on remittance fees and services, requires transparency in exchange rates and related charges, and strengthens financial literacy programs for OFWs and their families so that their hard-earned income can translate into long-term financial security and sustainable livelihood. Mr. President, at this point, please allow me to express my sincerest thanks to the members of this august chamber for their support and cooperation in the passage of this measure. We would especially like to thank Senate President Tito Soto for his valuable refinements to the bill, which will help ensure that the benefits of this legislation are immediately felt by our OFWs and their families. We'd like to thank again our fellow authors, Senators Camille Villar, Jinggoy Estrada, Rafi Tulfo, J.V. Ejercito, Mark Villar, and Kiko Pangilinan. We also thank the agencies and stakeholders who shared their expertise during the deliberations, particularly BSP, DOF, DMW, OWA, and the many organizations advocating for the welfare of our OFWs. Ginoong Pangulo, sa araw po na ito, muli nating pinatunayan na ang Senado ay nagkakaisa sa layuning protektahan ang kapakanan ng ating mga kababayan, lalo na po ang ating mga bagong bayaning patuloy na nagsusumikap sa ibang bansa para sa kanilang mga pamilya at para sa ating inang bayan. The passage of this bill brings us one step closer to a more just and protective system for our OFWs. Yet it is also a reminder of our continuing responsibility to create opportunities here at home so that one day no Filipino will be compelled to leave the country in search of livelihood. Hanggang sa araw po na iyon, mananatili po ang ating tungkuling pangalagaan ang karapatan at kapakanan ng ating mga kababayang kumakayod sa ibayong dagat. Muli, Ginoong Pangulo, maraming salamat at pagpalain tayong lahat ng ating Panginoong Diyos.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Next to also explain his vote is our distinguished colleague, Senator J.V. Ejercito.
Senator J.B. Ejercito is recognized.
Mr. President, Magandang hapon po. Sa pagpasa sa third reading ng Senate Bill number 1908, pinapakita natin ang ating kolektibong mitiin na bumabalangkas ng balanseng mga mekanismo upang pareho maprotektahan ang kapakanan at karapatan ng mga sibilyan at magbibigay rin ng malinaw at makatarungang panuntunan para sa ating mga alagad na batas sa pagsagawa ng kanilang mga tungkulin. This bill is a product of our collective efforts to strengthen transparency and accountability in legitimate law enforcement operations. Civilians will be protected from alleged irregularities in raids, and while law enforcers will not be accused of corruption and tampering. Sa paggamit ng body-worn cameras, maalis ang pagdududa laban sa ating kapulisan kasabay ang pangangalaga sa karapatang pantao ng ating mga mamamayan. Sa bawat operasyon ng ating kapulisan, may body-worn camera na magsisilbing saksi sa lahat ng mga pangyayari. Ngunit hindi lamang ito sa isang ordinaryong witness, kundi isang witness na impartial. Sa huli, umaasa po tayo na ang panukalang batas na ito ay magiging mahalagang hakbang tungo sa pagpapalakas ng tiwala ng publiko sa ating mga institusyon at law enforcement officers at sa pagtataguyod ng isang tapat na sistema. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you. Majority Leader.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. May we recognize once again Senator Rafi.
Senator Rapi Tulfo, yes.
Mr. President, my dear colleagues, I vote yes on this measure requiring the use of body-worn cameras by our law enforcement officers during law enforcement operations. Simple lamang po ang layunin ng panukalang ito: truth, transparency, and accountability. Sa dami ng mga insidenteng nagsumbong na po sa aking programa, mga arrest operations na may aligasyon ng pang-abuso, mga search na kini-question ng proseso, at mga operasyong nauwi sa banggaan ng salaysay, isa lang po ang laging tanong ng taong bayan: ano ba talaga ang totoo at sino nagsasabi ng totoo? But by requiring officers to wear body-worn cameras while conducting official operations such as arrest, searches, service of warrants, entrapment and bypass operations, hot pursuit operations, and other enforcement activities, ginagarantiya po natin na may recording ang mga galaw ng parehong mga sospek at kapulisan na pwedeng i-review kung may kinakailangan. Hindi po ito laban sa kapulisan. In fact, this is as much a protection of our police officers as it is for the public. Marami po tayong matitinong pulis na nadadamay sa maling paratang. With a functioning body-worn camera, there will be an objective record of events. Hindi na ito magiging he said, she said, because the footage will speak for itself. In short, may resibo na po. The use of body-worn cameras is a very basic solution, but it's very effective for law enforcement and public accountability. Kasi nga po, nagkaroon na tayo ng resibo. Ito ang kailangan natin sa ating mga ahensya sa gobyerno, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga law enforcement agencies. The footage can serve as credible evidence that they perform their duties properly and within the bounds of the law. Ang body-worn cameras ay magsisilbing impartial witness sa bawat operasyon. Walang kinikilingan, walang binabago. Sa ganitong paraan, napapalakas natin ang tiwala ng publiko sa mga ating law enforcement agencies habang napoprotektahan din ang karapatan ng lahat. Mr. President, the passage of this measure will build greater trust between the public and our law enforcement institutions. Transparency strengthens accountability, and accountability strengthens public confidence. I would like to thank the principal sponsor of this measure, Senator J.V. Ejercito, for fast-tracking the passage of this measure. Senator J.V. Ejercito, I share the same advocacy of promoting truth, transparency, and accountability in law enforcement. Mr. President, it is with pride that I cast my vote yes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to explain her vote is Senator Lauren Legarda.
Senator Lauren Legarda is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I vote yes on Senate Bill 1937, the GIDA Schools Act. As principal author of this measure, which institutionalizes support for public basic education schools in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, I respectfully seek the permission of the sponsor, Senator Bam Aquino, to be made a co-sponsor thereof. Education is a fundamental right and a powerful equalizer for many Filipino children living in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. Access to quality education remains constrained by distance, inadequate infrastructure, and limited public service. No child should be denied learning opportunities simply because of geography. This measure addresses these persistent barriers by strengthening support for public basic education schools in geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, ensuring that learners in remote and marginalized communities are provided with accessible, safe, and adequate school facilities. It mandates the establishment of GIDA schools where needed, provides clear indicators for identifying communities facing significant educational access challenges. The bill strengthens planning and coordination through the development of a national GIDA schools mapping system, which will guide infrastructure planning, resource allocation, policy interventions for underserved communities. By institutionalizing support systems for GIDA schools, this measure advances our commitment to inclusive and equitable education for all Filipinos. I thank the good sponsor, Senator Bam Aquino, for making this a priority. Thank you for hearing it soonest and for sponsoring it last week. I apologize, I was not able to read my co-sponsorship because I was on sick leave last week. I would just like to put on record as well. Remember, I'm sure you've seen it online, the video of children walking through the side of a mountain where there was a mud flow by a river somewhere in Cebu. I hope that these bills and policies don't end up just ink on paper, but that particular GIDA school in that barangay in Cebu is addressed immediately. It may not have been in the GAA 2026 budget, but I'm certain that the DepEd has some funds which can be used and that the DPWH or perhaps the DBM Secretary said the LGSF can address that issue. It's something that went viral, then what? This is a GIDA school policy. It will take time before we put our words into action. But we have the GAA 2026, naka-FLR pa yata lahat, pero sana yung LGSF ay mabigay sa particular school na yon at marami pa pong gaya noon sa iba't ibang lugar. Thank you, Mr. President.
George Reader.
Thank you. And I also conferred with Senator Bam Aquino. He gladly accepts the co-sponsorship request of our distinguished colleague. And the timing is perfect because we have also the Secretary of DBM here with us today, Mr. President. I hope that they prioritize these last mile schools, but it's a different name now. I believe Senator Bam called them. What is the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas? GIDA or GIDA, Mr. President.
Whatever.
Yes, whatever name, it's the same name.
It's just like finance and finance. You know, Senator
correct,
Enrile pronounces it as finance. I pronounce it as finance.
Yes.
Now, when I checked Webster, the American pronunciation is finance, but the British pronunciation is finance.
Yes, Mr. President.
Yeah, so we're both right.
It's like tomato and tomato. Tomato and tomato. Anyway, it's all the same one. It's all the
Senator
same.
Francis Pangilinan is recognized.
But I believe, Mr. President, whether it is British or American, it is both isolated. Neither British or American pronunciation would be isolated.
Correct. You are absolutely right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next to explain their vote, Mr. President, Senator Mark Villar.
Senator Mark Villar is recognized.
Mr. President, I rise to explain my yes vote on Senate Bill number 1908, or the Law Enforcement Body-Worn Camera Act. Body-worn cameras have been an integral part of law enforcement in other countries. It has been an effective deterrent against police abuse in other countries and is instrumental in the speedy resolution of cases. Mr. President, this bill is also timely and responsive in the midst of the hyper-digital era, where every occurrence from a simple traffic incident to a legitimate police operation are captured and documented by camera-enabled devices. How about the other side of the coin? Mr. President, this is where we have to tread cautiously but firmly the lines of effective law enforcement, data privacy, and human rights concerns. I personally witnessed the efficiency of our PNP when I visited their Quezon City headquarters 3 years ago. During my visit, sinubukan po natin ang response time ng PNP sa mga krimen. Pumili po tayo ng isang remote area sa Quezon City na rerespondehan ng ating kapulisan. Within 5 minutes, nakarating na po ang deployed forces ng PNP. This kind of law enforcement response is what we are envisioning with the implementation of body-worn cameras. Kakakibat ng mabilis na responde ng PNP, makapagbibigay ang body-worn cameras ng complementary at supplementary support sa kanilang operations. On the same note, ang pagpapasa sa batas na ito ay isang proteksyon ng human rights sa bansa. Hindi lang ng publiko kundi para rin sa lahat ng involved sa operations dahil recorded po ang bawat galaw ng ating kapulisan. Mas mapapaigting ang transparency at accountability ng ating kapulisan. Madadagdagan nito ang kumpiyansa ng publiko sa ating law enforcement agency at matutulungan mapababa ang krimen dahil sa mas matibay na community engagement. As such, Mr. President, I affirm my steadfast support for this bill being forwarded by our esteemed sponsor, Senator J.V. Ejercito. I share his eagerness in guaranteeing that our law enforcement will be equipped with the necessary gear to adequately accomplish their duties. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Before we suspend so that we can do our caucus, we'd just like to also recognize the gentlemen and ladies in the gallery. We have with us USEC Roger Navarro, DA Undersecretary for Operations and Agri-Fisheries Mechanization for Rural Credit. He's with us. We have also with us Deputy Administrator of the Sugar Regulatory Administration, Attorney Guillermo Tejida is with us. Is the SRA here? We have also with us Dr. Dexter Buted, Administrator of the DA Philippine Coconut Authority. Are they here?
Yes.
Okay. Please,
Okay.
acknowledge
Thank
yourself.
you.
Okay.
We
Thank you
welcome
very much, Mr.
the
President.
guests to the Senate this afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
So, Mr. President, I move to suspend
All right.
session for a few Senate minutes so that we can discuss in caucus these priority measures that these gentlemen and ladies from the executive wish us to approve, Mr. President.
All right, the session is suspended for a few Senate minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority
Mr.
Leader.
President, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
Secretary will proceed with the reference of business. Mag-alam mo na konti.
Yes, sir.
Ito.
Bills on first reading. Senate Bill 1963, an act clarifying the value-added tax treatment of socialized electricity subsidies and statutory charges under Republic Act Number 9136, otherwise known as the Electric Power Industry Reform Act 2001, amending with the purpose Section 108 of the National Inter-Revenue Code of 1997 as amended, and for other purposes by Senator Ligarda.
Referred to committees on Ways and Means and Energy.
1964, an act prohibiting education institutions from unreasonably withholding the official school records of students, establishing a mechanism to assist financially capacitated students with outstanding school balances for the purpose of accessing their school records and for other purposes by Senator Hontiveros.
Referred to committees on Basic Education, Higher Education, and Finance.
Resolution number 345, resolution directing the appropriate Senate committee to conduct inquiry in need of legislation, the increasing use of cigarettes, heated tobacco products, and vapor products among Filipino youth, the proliferation of their sale through online platforms and retail stores, and the need to strengthen regulation, monitoring, and enforcement. Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the committees on Health and Trade.
Committee report number 45, prepared and submitted by the Committee on Energy on Senate Bill number 1965 with Senator Estrada and Cayetano P. as authors thereof, titled an act amending Section 5 of Republic Act number 9367, otherwise known as the Biofuels Act of 2006. Recommending approval and substitution of number 1485 by Senator Cayetano P.
To the calendar for ordinary business. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr.
There
President.
is additional reference of business.
Please proceed, Mr.
I'm
President.
sorry. Go ahead. You may proceed.
Additional reference of business. Message of the President of the Republic of the Philippines. Letter of His Excellency President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. dated 16 March 2026, certifying the necessity of the immediate enactment of Senate Bill number 1965, titled an act amending Section 5 of Republic Act number 9367, otherwise known as the Biofuels Act of 2006.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
Resolution number 346. Resolution directing the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Food, and Agrarian Reform to conduct an inquiry in need of legislation into the impact of rising oil prices on the cost of agricultural and fisheries production and the readiness of government agencies to provide timely support to farmers and fisherfolk by Senator Pangilinan.
Referred to Committee on Agriculture.
347, resolution directing the Senate Committee on Tourism to conduct an inquiry in need of legislation on the competitiveness of the Philippine tourism industry with other Southeast Asian countries, including a review of tourism promotion strategies and the utilization of the Department of Tourism budget with the end in view of identifying policy measures to increase international tourism arrivals and strengthen the country's global tourism competitiveness by Senator Tulfo R.
Referred to the Committees on Tourism and Finance. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President,
Attorney.
please. Ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President.
Session suspended.
May I move for additional reference of business, Mr.
There is a second additional reference of business. You may proceed, Secretary.
Message from the House of Representatives informing that the Senate that on 16 March 2026 is passed House Bill number 8418 titled An Act Authorizing the President of the Philippines to suspend or reduce excise taxes on petroleum products during national or global economic emergencies, amending for the purpose the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997 as amended, in which it requests the concurrence of the Senate.
Referred to the Committees on Ways and Means and Energy.
Committee report. Committee report number 46, prepared and submitted jointly with the Committees on Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development, and Finance on Senate Bill number 1966 with Senators Marcos, Go, Estrada, Tulfo E., and Villanueva as authors, thereof titled An Act Utilizing the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situations Program, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, providing penalties for the violation of certain unlawful acts and appropriating funds therefore. Recommending approval in substitution of Senate Bills number 117, 676, 894, and 1445, taking into consideration House Bill number 6636 by Senator Tulfo E.
To the calendar for ordinary business. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move to transfer from the calendar of ordinary business to special order Senate Bill number 1966 under Committee Report number 46. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, 1966 is transferred.
Mr. President, I move that we consider Senate Bill number 1966 under Committee Report number 46. I so move.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of 1966 is in order.
May we ask the Secretary, Mr. President, to read the title of the measure?
The Secretary will read the title of the measure.
An act institutionalizing the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situations Program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, providing penalties for the violation of certain unlawful acts and appropriating funds therefore.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, may we recognize the sponsor of the measure, no other than our distinguished colleague from Palawan and the Republic of the Philippines, Senator Erwin Tulfo.
Senator Erwin Tulfo is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, my dear colleagues, today I rise before you to sponsor a measure that speaks directly to the heart of public service, the responsibility of the government to stand beside our people during their most difficult moments. I humbly seek your support for the passage of Senate Bill number 1966 under Committee Report number 46, an act institutionalizing assistance to individuals in crisis, or AICS program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, providing penalties for the violation of certain unlawful acts and appropriating funds therefore. This measure seeks to institutionalize the assistance to individuals in crisis situation of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Mr. President, for many Filipinos, AICS has long served as a lifeline. It has helped families facing medical emergencies, students struggling to stay in school, workers displaced by sudden crises, and communities recovering from disasters. But while the program has long been implemented administratively, this measure ensures that it becomes a permanent and protected program under the law, a program that will endure beyond administrations. Mr. President, the AICS Act is guided by clear principle. Ang gobyerno ay dapat laging handang umalalay sa mamayan sa oras ng kagipitan at pangangailangan. When a family faces a medical emergency, when a student is on the brink of dropping out, or when a household loses its breadwinner, government assistance should not be uncertain or temporary. This measure affirms the state's policy to promote a just and dynamic social order and to alleviate the plight of the poor by providing accessible social services and programs that improve the quality of life of every Filipino. And let me emphasize, Mr. President, this is LEDAC priority measure, underscoring its national importance and the urgency of ensuring that crisis support is consistent, predictable, and protected from administrative uncertainties. Through this proposed AICS Act, individuals and families experiencing crisis situations will be able to access different forms of assistance, including financial assistance for urgent needs intended for funeral assistance, transportation, medical, educational, and other cash assistance. Material assistance such as food packs and essential non-food items. Psychosocial support for individuals and families dealing with trauma or emotional distress. And referral services to appropriate agencies for longer-term interventions. Mr. President, this measure recognizes that crisis does not discriminate. A student in crisis, a farmer affected by calamity, a senior citizen needing urgent medical care, a solo parent struggling to support their children, or members of our indigenous communities facing displacement, all deserve timely help. Sa madaling sabi, walang Pilipino ang dapat maiwan kapag sila ay nasa gitna ng matinding pagsubok. This measure also strengthens transparency and accountability. It clearly provides that the distribution of assistance shall be handled by DSWD, ensuring that aid reaches the rightful beneficiaries based on professional social worker assessment. More importantly, the measure explicitly prohibits political involvement in the distribution of assistance. No elected official, political party, or candidate may participate in or influence the distribution of aid. Political signage, branding, or imagery will not be allowed. Mga kasama, malinaw ang mensahe ng batas na ito. Ang tulong ng gobyerno ay hindi dapat nagiging instrumento ng politika. The measure also seeks to establish an integrated program delivery system in coordination with the Department of Information and Communications Technology to modernize service delivery, ensure data privacy under Data Privacy Act of 2012, and prevent duplication or abuse of assistance. To ensure effective oversight, the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee will be constituted, allowing Congress to regularly monitor implementation, identify gaps, and recommend improvements. Mr. President, beyond policy and procedure, this measure is about compassion institutionalized into law. Every Filipino family knows how fragile stability can be. One illness, one accident, one disaster can push a household into crisis. And when that moment comes, our people should not feel alone. Sa oras po ng pangangailangan, dapat maramdaman ng bawat Pilipino na may pamahalaang handang umagapay at tumulong. By institutionalizing AICS, we ensure that assistance is systematic, fair, transparent, and insulated from political interference, so that help reaches those who truly need it at the time they need it most. Mr. President and dear colleagues, this measure is not merely about providing aid. It is about affirming a fundamental promise of governance, na ang pamahalaan ay kakampi ng mamayan lalo na sa panahon ng krisis. For this reason, I humbly urge my colleagues to support the immediate passage of this measure, and in doing so, we give substance to our promise that help will be there when it is needed most, not as a matter of political discretion, but as a matter of right. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, to allow our colleagues
Yes,
to study
Majority Leader.
to allow our colleagues to study the measure further, move to suspend consideration of the same.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of the measure suspended.
Pwede na tayo mag-second. Ano muna tayo? Napahal na? Ito ba na yun? Napahal na pero... Ito ano, I'll FOI muna. May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Session suspended.
Move for additional reference of business, Mr. President.
The third additional reference of business, Secretary, proceed.
Additional reference of business. Committee report. Committee report number 47, prepared and submitted jointly by the Committees on Basic Education, Ways and Means and Finance on Senate Bill number 1981 with Senators Aquino, Legarda, Gatchalian, Cayetano AP, Estrada, Villar M, Pangilinan, Villanueva, and Tulfo are as authors thereof titled, and establishing the private basic education voucher program and appropriating funds therefore, appealing for the purpose, Republic Act number 6728, otherwise known as the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education as amended. Recommending its approval and substitutions of Senate Bills number 128, 309, 364, 422, 10373, 1710, 1841, 1848, and 1895, taking into consideration House Bill number 4744 in the previous speech of Senator Win Gatchalian delivered 18 February 2026 entitled Expanded Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act by Senator Aquino.
To the calendar for ordinary business. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we transfer from the calendar ordinary business to special order Senate Bill number 1981 under Committee Report number 47.
Hearing no objection, so transferred 1981 to
Thank-
calendar.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we consider Senate Bill number 1981.
Hearing no objection, consideration of 1981 is in order. Secretary will read the title of the measure.
An act establishing a private basic education voucher program and appropriating funds therefore, repealing for the purpose sections 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 14, and 15 of Republic Act number 8545, otherwise known as the Expanded Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education, which amended Republic Act number 6728, otherwise known as the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act.
Majority Leader.
May we recognize the sponsor, Mr. President, to deliver his sponsorship speech, no other than our distinguished colleague, Senator Bam Aquino.
Senator Bam Aquino is recognized to sponsor the measure.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President. Mr. President, mga kasama, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. The Committee on Basic Education is pleased to present Senate Bill number 1981 under Committee Report number 47, otherwise known as an act establishing the private basic education voucher program and appropriating funds therefore, repealing for the purpose Republic Act number 6728, otherwise known as the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education or GASPE as amended. Nais po nating pasalamatan ng EDCOM 2 at ang ating co-authors sa panukalang ito, Senators Lauren Legarda, Win Gatchalian, Alan Peter Cayetano, Jinggoy Estrada, Mark Villar, Kiko Pangilinan, Joel Villanueva, and Rafi Tulfo. Karangalan po na magkakasama tayo sa laban para sa dekalidad na edukasyon para sa ating bansa. Nais ko din pong bigyang pugay si Senator Win Gatchalian na nagsimula sa diskusyon na ito nung termino po niya bilang chairperson of the Committee on Basic Education. Mr. President, mga kasama, ayon po sa EDCOM 2 report, umaabot sa 165,000 ang kulang na silid-aralan sa ating bansa. Ngunit ang hinala po natin, mas malaki pa ang aktual na kakulangan. Marami tayong mga classroom na overcrowded at sumasailalim sa shifting classes. May mga sira-sira na at ang iba naman deklarado ng condemned o hindi na po ligtas na gamitin. Nung hiling linggo lang, nabalita po muli ang mga mag-aaral na kailangang lumangoy sa ilog, tumawid sa marupok na tulay at maglakad ng ilang oras makarating lamang sa paaralan. Kulang at siksikan ng ating mga silid-aralan. Ngunit habang tinutugunan po natin ang pagsagawa ng mga bagong classroom na nakita na po natin sa CAP Bill at ngayon po sa ating 2026 GAA, nais rin po natin magbigay ng iba pang mga option. Ang ating reforma po ngayon ay tutugon sa tatlong pangunahing issue: congestion, access, at pangatlo, pagpapatibay ng sistema laban sa korupsyon. Una po, tugunan ang congestion. Layunin po ng panukalang batas na ito na bawasan ang pagsisiksikan sa mga pampublikong paaralan sa pamamagitan ng private education voucher. Ito po'y magbibigay daan sa mga mag-aaral na makapag-enroll sa mga pribadong paaralan. Particular na po ang mga nagmumula sa mga paaralang kinikilala ng DepEd bilang congested or overcrowded. Sa ating panukala, sakop po ng voucher bill ang lahat ng antas ng basic education mula K hanggang 12 at pinagsama-sama na po natin ang lahat ng voucher programs ng gobyerno sa ilalim ng batas na ito. Pangalawa po, palawakin ang access. Nais natin bigyan ng kalayaan ang mga mag-aaral na nahihirapan sa mga pampublikong paaralan na pumili ng paaralang angkop sa kanilang pangangailangan. Mahalaga po ang programang ito dahil direktang natutulungan ang mga pamilya, lalo na yung mga nakatira na malapit sa mga pribadong paaralan at ang mga mag-aaral na nangangailangan ng special education o SPED. Bukod po dito, bibigyan po ng priority ang mga mag-aaral mula sa 4Ps, GAIDA o Geographically Isolated and Disadvantaged Areas, IPs o Indigenous People, at sa mga estudyanteng nagmumula sa mga foster homes or alternative childcare. Kasama rin po dito ang mga mag-aaral na may disabilities at iba pang mga mula sa vulnerable sectors na tutukuyin ng DepEd. Pinapalakas din po natin ang ugnayan ng mga pribadong paaralan sa pamamagitan ng mga subsidy at suporta para sa mga gurong nagtatrabaho po dito. Panghuli po at pangatlo, yung pagpapatibay sa sistema laban sa korupsyon. Kasama po sa ating panukala ang mga probisyon para sa administrative at criminal penalties upang hadlangan ng anumang uri ng pandaraya o fraud. Titiyakin po natin na wala ng ghost student at wala na pong magsasamantala sa sistema. Sa ilalim ng panukalang ito, paparusahan ang anumang paaralang lalabag sa mga probisyon ng batas. Ang paglabag po ay may kaukulang multa o pagkabilanggo dahil ang kailangan po ng mga mag-aaral ay edukasyon at hindi korupsyon. Mr. President, mga kasama, inaasahan ko ang inyong pakikiisa upang maipasa ang panukalang batas na ito. Ito po ay isang mahalagang hakbang tungo sa pagtugon sa krisis sa ating edukasyon. Sa pamamagitan po nito, masisigurado nating mas marami pang kabataang Pilipino ang makakapag-aral sa mga maayos na kapaligiran at makakatanggap ng dekalidad na edukasyon. Iyakin po natin na walang batang maiiwan sa ating minamahal na bayan. Maraming salamat po. And we hope for your continued support for our reforms in the Philippine education system. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, move to recognize and to co-sponsor the measure our distinguished Deputy Majority Floor Leader, Senator J.V. Harrison.
Senator J.V. Harrison is recognized.
Mr. President, dear colleagues, good afternoon. I rise today to co-sponsor the said measure. Isa po sa mga pinakamalagang atas ng ating konstitusyon ay ang pangalagaan at itaguyod ang karapatan ng lahat ng mamamayan sa mahusay na edukasyon sa lahat ng antas. At dapat magsagawa ng angkop na mga hakbang upang matamo ng lahat ng gayong edukasyon. Ang edukasyon ay hindi lamang isang serbisyo ng pamahalaan, kundi isang pangunahing karapatan ng bawat Pilipino at isang haligi ng pambansang kaunlaran. Subalit sa kabila ng patuloy na pagsisikap ng pamahalaan na palawakin ang access sa edukasyon, nananatili pa rin ang malaking hamon sa ating basic education system. At habang po ginagawa ng pamahalaan ang mga angkop na hakbangin upang mapunan ang higit 100,000 kakulungan ng mga silid-aralan sa iba't ibang dako ng ating bansa, kailangan din natin masiguro na may sapat na access ang ating mga kababayan sa edukasyon. Hindi lamang sa mga pampublikong paaralan, kundi maging sa mga pribadong institusyon na matagal ng katuwang ng pamahalaan sa paghatid ng kalidad na edukasyon. Sa madaling salita po, habang pinapalakas at pinagtitibay natin ang ating public school infrastructure, dapat din nating kilalanin at palawakin ang mahalagang papel ng private education sector sa pagpapalawak ng education opportunities para sa ating mga kabataan. In recent years, policy watch groups have endorsed an alarming downward trend in education spending, with public spending on education not yet fully recovering to pre-pandemic levels in most ASEAN countries. Ngunit salamat na rin po sa kolektibong aksyon ng mga kampiyon ng edukasyon sa kapulungan na ito, we were finally able to commit a historic 1.224 trillion for the education sector for fiscal year 2026. Which means a global standard set by UNESCO's recommendation of 4% of the GDP for education spending. While this represents a significant commitment to strengthening our education sector, we must also ensure that these investments translate into expanded access and greater educational opportunities for Filipino learners. Kaya po pinupuri ko ang maprobisyon ng panukalang batas na ito na naglalayon pagtibayin ang voucher assistance mechanism ng pamahalaan upang matulungan ang mga kwalipikadong mag-aaral na makapasok at makapagpatuloy na pag-aaral sa mga pribadong paaralan nakalahok sa programa. Kinikilala rin natin ng panukalang ang mahalagang papel ng mga guro sa pribadong sektor. Kaya naman naglalaman ito ng mga probisyon para sa capacity building at professional development support para sa private school teachers upang patuloy mapanatili ang kalidad ng edukasyon. Kung tunay nating nais na maabot ang pangarap na inclusive at mataas na kalidad na edukasyon para sa lahat, kailangan nating gamitin ang lahat ng makabuluhang mekanismo upang mapalawak ang access dito. At isa sa mga mekanismo ito ay ang mas matibay na partnership sa pagitan ng pamahalaan at ng private education sector. Sa pamamagitan ng panukalang batas nito, mas lalo nating pinagtitibay ang ating paninindigan ng edukasyon ay hindi lamang responsibilidad ng pamahalaan, kundi isang pambansang adhikain na dapat pag-ambagan at pagtulungan ng buong lipunan. For these reasons, Mr. President, I express my full support for the passage of the Basic Education Voucher Program Act and also respectfully request to be made co-author of the measure. Maraming salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And also to sponsor the measure, distinguished colleague, the Finance Chair, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise today to co-sponsor the Basic Education Voucher Program Act. The right to education is one of our most cherished constitutional duties. We stand at a historic moment in our nation's history with an unprecedented budget of 1.3 trillion pesos to the sector, and this is not simply a question of funds. Ang edukasyon ang nagsisilbing susi sa isang magandang kinabukasan para sa ating kabataan at sa ating bayan. Ang makapagtapos ang tanging pangarap ng bawat magulang para sa kanilang mga anak. Dahil para sa karamihan ng ating mga kababayan, ang edukasyon ang aahon sa kanila sa kahirapan. For this reason, we must ensure that the programs we fund are effective, accountable, and responsive to the needs of our learners. This is precisely the objective of the measure before us today. The Basic Education Voucher Program Act seeks to establish clear, transparent, and responsive assistance to decongesting our public classrooms by awarding vouchers to qualified learners so that they can transfer to accredited private basic education institutions. It also introduces critical reforms that are meant to address some of the most persistent challenges in the way our existing voucher programs are being implemented. One challenge is streamlining the program itself. At present, the government implements several voucher and assistance programs, including the Education Service Contracting Program, the Senior High School Voucher Program, the Joint Delivery Voucher Program. While these programs share the same objective, they operate under separate sets of rules and administrative structures. Thus, it can be difficult for parents, students, and even school administrators to navigate. Section 21 of this measure introduces a significant reform. It effectively creates a single basic education voucher program by repealing the existing Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act. This creates a clean slate that simplifies the process. By consolidating programs, we produce a more coherent system that is easier to administer and enables us to better focus on achieving decongestion and equity. Equally important, Mr. President, the bill also rectifies the problem of leakage, where learners from the most vulnerable sectors of society are not always prioritized. Section 5 of this measure explicitly states that students who are disadvantaged and come from low-income households may receive a higher voucher amount as determined by DepEd. Furthermore, it prioritizes learners from disadvantaged backgrounds, such as learners with disabilities, learners from indigenous communities, foster care children, 4Ps beneficiaries, and learners from geographically isolated and displaced areas or GAIDA. Bukod pa dito, Ginoong Pangulo, nilalabanan din ng panukalang ito ang suliranin ng Go Students at misrepresentasyon. Mahigpit na ipinagbabawal ng panukalang ito ang anumang anyo ng palilinlang tungkol sa Basic Education Voucher Program. Kasama dito ang pagre-report ng fictitious students o pagbigay ng voucher assistance sa sinumang mag-aaral na hindi enrolled o hindi pumapasok sa klase. Mr. President, these reforms are long overdue, and I believe that this measure is a significant step towards ensuring that one of the nation's most important assistance program truly achieves its objectives. Gaya ng lagi kong binibigyan diin, hindi natin pwedeng pabayaan ang mga polisiya at programa ng bayan tungkol sa edukasyon. Dahil habang buhay, nadadalhin ng ating mga mag-aaral at mga pamilyang Pilipino ang epekto ng mga panukalang ito. For millions of Filipino learners, the window to a good education opens only briefly. Let us make sure that this opens a horizon to a brighter future. Before I end, I would like to thank the distinguished sponsor of this bill, Senator Bam Aquino, for his tireless work and commitment towards uplifting the quality of education in the country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, we have two more members who wish to co-sponsor the measure. May we recognize Senator Robin Hood Padilla, and after which Senator Lauren Legardo.
Senator Robin Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Mga ginagalang kong kapwa senador, partikular na po ang champion ng edukasyon, Senator Bam Aquino, at ang kanya pong mga kasama, Senator Lauren Legarda, Senator Gatchalian, Senator Cayetano, Senator Jingo Estrada, Senator Mark Villar, Senator Pangilinan, Senator Villanueva, at Senator Tulfo. Ako po ay tumitindig upang i-co-sponsor at i-co-author ang panukalang batas na nagtatatag ng Basic Education Voucher Program Act na isa ring mahalagang reforma upang mas mapalawak ang oportunidad ng bawat batang Pilipino na makamit ang dekalidad na edukasyon. Sa talumpati ng ating kaibigang Senator Bam Aquino, nabanggit po ang ato ay anghel sa aking tenga